And we're going to turn now to Representative Courtney. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Senator. And again, the urgency of the situation was shown again this morning by the Federal Reserve, which had its reports in from the 12 regions around the country. The good news is 9 out of 12 regions were showing good signs of economic growth. The 3 that weren't were Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, and it was Hurricane Sandy, which was identified by each one of the governors as the reason why, again, we've got to really hit the sweet spot here in terms of a good package to help this critical part of America to be part of a strong time of economic growth that, again, is so important to all of the priorities that we face as a nation. You get Eastern Long Island Sound, which runs from Stonington, Mystic, I know an area that you visited with one of my predecessors, Mr. Gadenson, all the way to New Haven, has actually experienced 4 FEMA events in 2 years, going back to flooding in the spring of 2010, Hurricane Irene, Storm Alfred last year, and then the Hurricane Sandy. In our area, because the breakwater from Long Island Sound actually doesn't extend all the way to Stonington area, we experienced 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts that coincided with high tide. And again, we saw flooding and physical destruction that actually exceeded hurricane from 1938, which the old-timers always said was the high water mark in terms of bad weather in Connecticut. The only point I wanted to just share is that with these 4 events, again, these communities along the shoreline and in the interior, every single time the first responders and local government has risen to the challenge in terms of making sure that immediate first responder issues were met. The 75-25 reimbursement that comes from FEMA, again, given the fact that we've had a repetitive just series of storms, is really starting to affect the ability of these communities to maintain standard operations. So, for example, the City of New London, which is a very distressed municipality, again, did everything they had to do in terms of protecting lives, but they are now looking at a structural deficit that, again, the expenditure triggered that is now going to put at risk possibly laying off firemen and police. And, again, President Obama's prompt declaration was much appreciated because that kind of took some of the doubt about whether or not spending money was going to, again, rebound and boomerang against them. But the fact is if we can look at that per capita threshold that triggers a higher reimbursement as we put this package together, the fact is these communities deserve that. Again, they have experienced just a historic repetition of bad weather that is really now starting to hit bone and muscle in terms of the ability to provide basic functions for local government. Again, thank you for holding this hearing, and look forward to working with the Senate and the House bipartisan group to get the right response to this storm.